Now the 22nd Street Bridge linking Chesapeake and Norfolk is closed.
The cones abruptly went up yesterday after public works crews made a startling discovery. The bridge was crumbling right before their very eyes. That means it was no longer safe for cars and pedestrians. Thousands of drivers a day will now need to find a new way to get around. And as 13 News Now reporter Robert Boyd found out, that's easier said than done.
The closure of the 22nd Street Bridge came as a surprise to many Chesapeake residents. And then when they found out that it's not going to reopen for at least 18 months, well, that was an even bigger surprise. They say detour is a frustrating word. Drivers were startled to see these large orange barrels blocking their way home on Thursday. The 22nd Street Bridge has been closed to all traffic.
Well, there's alternate routes, but as you can see, we're surrounded by train tracks.
And residents say once you are stuck behind the railroad gates, you could be waiting 10, 15, 20 minutes.
So when the trains are doing their thing, people can't do theirs. I mean, they go to work, go to the babysitters early in the morning or in the afternoons. It's going to be a big hindrance.
Chesapeake Public Works estimates 7,000 cars a day cross this bridge. They will now be redirected down Wilson Road, transforming it from a quiet back street to a major thoroughfare.
I guess if children are playing outside and people are speeding through the neighborhoods trying to get places, because I'm sure people are going to be pressed for time now, so I'm sure people are going to be speeding through the neighborhood, so it might be dangerous for some of the residents that live in this area.
Greg Butt's pallet business is adjacent from Wilson Road. He says the increase of traffic is already noticeable.
It's probably 20 to 1 now, compared to what it usually is.
He's worried pickups and deliveries for his business will be affected.
It'll make it difficult. You know, I have big trucks coming in and out, and you know, it's a two-way traffic, but it do get congested.
The city has already secured the $20 million in funding to tear down the current 81-year-old bridge and build a brand new one. However, they were hoping the demolition could be avoided until next year. So too was real estate agent Armin Harris. Do you think this could affect people buying or selling a home in this area?
Of course. Yeah, construction work definitely affects the view of the area.
The new bridge project is expected to begin as early as September and is scheduled to take 18 months to complete. In Chesapeake, Robert Boyd, 13 News Now.
There are more than 1,200 structurally deficient bridges in Virginia. That is according to VDOT. That term doesn't mean the bridges are unsafe or dangerous. Instead, it means the bridge must be monitored, inspected, and maintained. VDOT says bridges are generally inspected every 2 years. Structurally deficient bridges get checked out at least once a year.